Majestic backdrops, fields of colorful wildflowers, and hillsides full of life are some of the special things that make up the Hells Canyon National Recreational Area. Northwest Outdoors is here with Beamer's Hells Canyon Tours on an overnight trip deep into Hells Canyon. Beamer's guide Dan Fletchman and Northwest Outdoors fishing host Hobart Mans are on a search for sturgeon in the deepest gorge in North America. The Snake River in the Hells Canyon National Recreational Area is located on the Oregon-Idaho border. Accessible from the neighboring towns of Clarkston, Washington and Lewiston, Idaho, the Snake River is full of fierce rapids, surrounded by towering outcropping of rock, making this a unique place to fish.
He's got to be on there. Yeah, he's on. He's just running. Ain't very big, whatever it is. Little guy.
He's a pretty active little guy.
Yeah. He was swimming up with it all the time. He had it all the whole time. He just kept moving it forward.
Sometimes you hook one and you think, oh, he's just a little one, he's just swimming around with it, but he'd be a keeper any place but here.
Yeah.
That's a dandy little fish. That fish is at least between 4 and 4.5 feet long.
Yeah. It weighs about 30 pounds.
He'll pull a hook out of that mouth.
Let him go.
What are you using for bait this morning?
We're using fresh caught trout. Kind of stitch it on there with the hook through the gill plate, so when the fish swallows it, you got a good hook set.
Is that about a 5/0?
It's about a 9/0 hook.
9/0, okay. Big fish, big hook.
Big fish, big hook, big bait.
And you threaded it all the way down and laced it in?
Stitched it on.
Yep. And you've got the body cavity has been open and semi-clean, so...
Body cavity is open and you let the innards hang out for scent.
Okay.
Cut the tail off so it won't spin.
And it also drops a little more scent that way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out there and get one.
All right.
On these guided trips, Dan likes to place the bait to ensure the best chance to attract a sturgeon. These heavy lead balls with the bait can be tricky to cast. Waiting 5 minutes per location, though, is all Dan usually waits. With so many deep pools to fish on, it is only a matter of time before another hookup.
We got serious work here. I mean, serious work. You said we were going to do this after dinner. Tomorrow. Oh, bow to the fish occasionally, huh? I can feel him shaking that head, and it's as big as mine. That's a dandy. A dandy?
Dandy.
Oh, it just had to get a little sun off the water. Woo-hoo. Oh, big fish. If he keeps this up, I'm going to have to come down a notch. He slacked off. He turned around.
Okay, I'll shut her off. Just wanted to get her loose out here.
No, maybe I spoke too soon. Woo! Oh, yeah. Come on, baby. Yes.
Just keep going. The kind of gear we're using here today is a Sea-Line Daiwa 550 series and a master rod using 80-pound braided Dacron line, barbless 9/0 hook with about a 7-inch trout on it. Oh,
that's what we were looking for. 6-7 feet of prehistoric Snake River. Woohoo! You done good, Denny.
Got him hooked right in the lip, too. Good job.
He's ready to go.
Well, it's just under 6 foot.
Probably about 90 pounds.
I can tell you it weighs about 100 pounds. But I can't lift her. Okay, we'll turn her out.
Point her home.
Head going out.
Thank you very much.
We'll hang on to her a while so she gets ready to go. That one was ready to go.
There's more sturgeon excitement coming up on the Snake River, including a ride on the mailboat deep into Hell's Canyon. First, here's a great recipe from the Seafood School with fishing host Hobart Manns.
We're here this afternoon with good friend and head chef at the Astoria Seafood Consumer Center, my friend Eric Jenkins, and I'm going to share with Eric a recipe that I've had a lot of fun with this summer, this winter, and it's called, basically, it is salmon in dill mustard poached in wine. Sounds like a little different?
Sounds like a winner to me.
Okay, it's real simple, Eric. All we have to have is a fillet of salmon, with or without skin, but if it's with the skin, you got to take the scales off.
Okay.
And we're going to put it on double foil, and then we're going to take, this is normal, ordinary grocery store brand dill mustard. And we're going to slather it, and for lack of a better word, that's what I'm going to call it. We're going to paint it with this dill mustard.
Pretty liberally, too.
Yes, we want a really heavy coat. Think of it as a peanut butter sandwich, perhaps. You really want to coat it, and there's no such thing as too much. So we're going to get a good coating on it. Now to it, for both color and presentation, we're going to add 3 or 4 slices of onions, just little onion slices that we've taken off here. We'll put one here, and we'll knock the center out of this one and sprinkle them around a little bit.
And if you really like onions, I bet you can put as many on as you wanted to.
You can't, because they're not going to hurt them. Now, we've taken a lemon and peeled it, got all the rind and all the pulp off, and we're going to set 3 or 4 of these little lemon slices around on it for additional flavor. Now we're going to make it into a boat, and we're going to pick it up here a little bit on both sides. Going to pinch the ends up. I want to get them up here so that it'll form a boat that'll hold the liquid base. And into that, this is a peach Chardonnay wine. Very inexpensive. You can find it at any of the grocery stores, kind of a pop wine, but it's good stuff.
And the peach complements the mustard, I would imagine?
Peach and mustard, salmon all together, poaching.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to finish closing this. Going to wrap it up, pinch it up tight. You do this all the time, don't you?
I do.
Well, we did this summer, earlier, for the state legislature. We cooked about 100 pounds of this in a matter of about an hour and a half. So if you've got a barbecue, you want a quick, simple recipe. There's salmon, dill mustard, onion, lemon, no spices.
And a little peach Chardonnay.
Peach Chardonnay for liquid steam. We're going to put that one over. And we have one done that you're bringing back.
There you go.
That we just put on about 20 minutes ago. The cooking time on this is about 20 minutes. Now, it can vary on whatever grill you've got for one big reason. Temperature can vary with each grill, and the thickness of the salmon can vary with each grill. You notice you've got a goodly amount of moisture both from the fish and the remaining wine. And you can take a piece of this and just dip it in that. Notice how color, taste, flavor.
Well, that looks like about a big enough piece for you, and then this will be for me, right?
I can do that. I can share. Yeah, we got another chunk off of there, so Eric will have something to taste.
It looks like it's cooked perfectly.
He'll get it up here in just a second.
Oh, Bart, you are the master.
Is that something different?
That's absolutely delicious.
And it's, from the standpoint of a chef or what you're doing in a restaurant or even at home, simple ingredients, simple presentation, great product at the end.
Absolutely delicious.
The remote setting of the Hell's Canyon recreational area is a big reason this part of the Northwest attracts sightseers. The same remote setting can create a challenge for the many residents in the canyon. For 30 to 40 miles up in the canyon on the Idaho side, residents have staked their claim to property along the river. It can be time-consuming just getting the basic supplies needed to live here. One service Beamer's Hell's Canyon Tours provides is mail delivery. But instead of just delivering the mail, they have created a tourist attraction around this unique practice.
Delivering the mail into the canyon is under contract with the Post Office Department. Beamer's holds that contract, and it's a weekly mail service. Leaves Lewiston on Wednesday every week, and it comes partway up the canyon, where we stay overnight at our Oregon Lodge. And the following day, we continue on up the river, delivering the balance of the mail to various ranches and administrative points, and just simple folks living along the canyon. Some of your questions pertaining to the flora and the fauna of the canyon.
John Jones has been delivering the mail for a number of years into Hell's Canyon. One big part of his job is to know the history of the area.
Now this spot on the river just in front of us, this is the actual entrance to Hell's Canyon. This has been chosen by the National Geological Society and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Just more or less to settle long-standing arguments among some of the old-timers to where Hell's Canyon actually begins. We have at the moment about 12 to 15 different mail drops scattered throughout the canyon. Now that varies from season to season depending on who's in and who's out, especially for the ranchers. These folks have access to the outside. They have transportation, some of them. There are roads connecting some of these ranches to the outside, so it's not impossible for them to get away. There are some places that have to be accessed by boat only, and they'll do that sparingly. So sometimes I'm the only person they'll see week to week, and it's kind of a old home week when I finally show up. There's a lot of conversation, have a cup of coffee, here's my mail, and see you next week.
John's assistant today is Tom McChesney. McChesney has only been delivering the mail for a year now. It didn't take long to realize how much their service is appreciated.
Sometimes we stop and we get grocery lists here in the canyon for people that don't get to town. So we can bring groceries the next time we come up with the mail, and they're very happy. They try to pay us. We just give them their slip, and we don't charge an extra dime for it. And it's makes some real camaraderie with the people around here that they'll fix us pies and cookies and stuff like that. And so we enjoy doing a little something extra for them. And it looks like they've got outgoing mail, so I'll take it with me. And this will be posted back in Lewiston, Idaho, and sent to where they're supposed to go.
The round trip for these mail deliveries are close to 200 miles. Day trips are available, but most customers make the time to stay overnight at the Copper Creek Lodge deep in Hell's Canyon. A warm bed and hot meal is a nice way to break up the trip. Besides, resident deer usually come out to say hello. The next day on the water with Beamer's guide Dan Fleshman and Hobart Mans brings high hopes for more sturgeon. With some time between bites, Hobart and his friend Tony find the smallmouth bass fishing can be entertaining.
One of the nice things about it up here too is that we can fish for both types of fish. Each time we stop, we do a little casting for the bass. Look at the bigger one down below that one. Oh my. But these fish are just all over, very abundant, beautiful bronzeback, Snake River smallmouth. Gonna let this baby go, see if we can't find another one. These grubs make it easy to unhook. They don't harm the fish much. That little brown grub, this nice little 10, but we've been catching them in the range of up to as much as 15, 16 inches. And there's some beautiful fish here. We're looking for drop-offs, clean gravel, and using grubs and some small crawfish type plugs.
Oh, big fat female.
Pork. All of these fish are caught and released. This is a typical Hell's Canyon Snake River smallie, probably about 12, 13 inches. We're going to let him go and see if we can find another one just about the same size. There's another nice fish. Nice little, there's that big, 2, 3 are following the one that I've got hooked.
Fish on!
Got the sturgeon.
Come on.
I'm coming.
I got 2
I'm
rods
coming.
out here.
Oh, you got him. All right. That fish is huge. Huge. Howard huge.
It's a big one. That's what we've been looking for.
Incredibly huge. Well, Dan, you brought us to the right spot. You just knew he was out there. Pretty soon he had to get hungry, didn't he?
Pretty soon he had to. We may have to chase him. I'm gonna put it in reverse, so keep the line tight.
He's coming up.
How much line you got left?
Oh, 2/3.
And start reeling.
Start reeling. It ain't, there's no gaining yet.
Keep reeling. I'm backing right to him, so just keep reeling.
Oh, he's big. He's really big. Yep.
You look pretty good. You jumped and get off.
Fish is just big. That's all there is to it.
Like to get a bunch of line out and then outsmart you by turning and running right against you, right at you. Get some slack so they can spit that hook out. Coming right at you again. Trying to outsmart you. He's still there. Just keep reeling. Keep reeling. He's over there in the bass hole disturbing our bass.
Yeah, and the boat's going away from him. He's just sitting still.
Just keep cranking. Don't pull. Just keep reeling. Just keep reeling as fast as you can reel. When I give him slack, got to get him off that rock over there.
You'd think they get smart and realize that if they came up, we could turn them loose. Or maybe he decides that he's having more fun with me than I'm having with him.
That could be.
He's older than I am. Maybe he's smarter too.
Here we go. Pull him up.
Oh yeah, easy to say. When he wants to come up, he'll come up. And he don't want to come up yet.
Reel down. Pull up. You've about got him whipped, Hobart.
Yeah, I have like heck. He knows who's whipped, me.
Here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming up.
Yeah, come up and jump right here. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. My gosh. My golly.
Don't reel up anymore, Hobart, but just hold his head up out of the water, and we'll start over here to the beach.
Okay.
Pull into this cove over here.
Big sturgeon like this are quite a sight up close. This Snake River giant attracted passing boats wanting to get a better look.
That is a big fish, Hobie.
I know. Serious work. Dan, you said you were going to take me to the monster of the Snake River, and you delivered the goods. He is indeed a beauty, she, and...
What do you think this one weighs, Hobart?
250? What do you think?
I'd say at least 300.
Okay.
As fat as she is. 8'4".
8'4", and she's been through this ordeal before. That is a great fish. Spectacular. Don't make somebody else hurt, honey. I'm tired and sore for a week. Dan, again, it just
can't get any better than that. We hooked a couple of big bass.
Take it easy now. We'll just turn you the right direction here, baby. Let us get you going the right way. You weigh so much. You're so fat. Look how big she is.
Yes, she's really deep.
Deep fish.
Big, huge, deep fish.
I think she weighs more than 300 pounds.
Just huge. There she goes. There she goes.
Okay, we'll push her out and pull her back. And give her a little oxygen in those gills. And pretty soon she's going to soak me.
Yeah, that will be your christening for having... Dan. Come here. You owe me 10, not 5. 10.
All right.
Killer fish.
How's your back?
It's still there. A little long, yeah, but it's there.
Rapids, wildlife, history, incredible geology, and big fish make the Hells Canyon and Snake River a very unique area of the Pacific Northwest. This show ends with a visit to the workshop of Silverdale, Washington artist Ron Hinshaw. Hinshaw cuts, grinds, and burns his way to a special kind of art.
Steel off the paper pattern, and I take a silver layout pencil. And once I get the whole piece laid out like that with the silver pencil, the next step, fire up the torch, cut it out.
Hinshaw is a self-taught artist with an extensive background in ornamental metalwork. A love for the outdoors and wildlife is expressed in his chosen medium of steel plate and heat.
The type of work I do, I call steel sculpture for the lack of anything better to call it. It's a style I've developed and no one else has figured out how to do it, so it's still mine. And it's just a matter of taking a piece of 1/8" steel plate, drawing a pattern on it, cutting it out with a acetylene torch, and detailing it, polishing with a grinder, and going back and applying the heat with the torch to get the various colors that I get, from golds to browns, purples, blues. And then once it's all colored, I arc weld it together and seal it in clear lacquer. She's ready to grind right now. My artwork differs from anyone else's because the way I use the grinder. But that's what brings out the detail and the 3-dimension in each piece is the way I grind it. I watch all the grinder marks, and then after I get them ground, I accent the grinder marks with the heat for the color. I shade, and like underneath his belly, I've applied more heat here to accent these grinder marks. And every set of muscles I heat on the side, so you get the illusion of the roll of the muscle. Okay, and the next step is to take the torch and apply heat in varying different degrees and ways of applying it, and it'll bring the color out, and pretty quick we'll have the natural color of elk.
Hinshaw's finished pieces appear to be 3-dimensional due to the grinding, coloring, and the layering of the steel.
Okay, in this particular piece, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of detailed steel that I've welded together. Once I get them all done, and I weld them all together in a piece, and I have airspace in between, and you get the effect, the 3D effect. It's not a flat piece of steel, it's a sculpture.
online with Northwest Outdoors to learn more about this show, number 1605. On the next Northwest Outdoors, go whitewater rafting on the Skycomish River in north central Washington State. Cook up some oyster burgers at the Seafood School in Oregon. Also, life-size artist Terry Lee of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And make a debris hut from the survival experts. That's on the next Northwest Outdoors.
Funding for Northwest Outdoors is made possible in part by Kershaw Knives of Portland, Oregon, makers of precision tools and cutlery. Kershaw Knives strongly supports outdoor programming as well as responsible outdoor activities throughout the Pacific Northwest. And by Subaru, engineered and designed for all types of activities in the great outdoors. The craftsmen and women that repair and supply parts for Subaru West believe that enjoyment of the Pacific Northwest should be available to everyone. And by alltrek.com. Alltrek provides high-performance clothing and gear for every outdoor experience, including paddling, camping, hiking, climbing, and more. Information can be found online at alltrek.com.